Oh, now
My
it says
video
go
is
live.
starting.
No,
You're live now. Oh my God,
can
we
you hear us? Can
did it!
you hear us?
Oh my God, we did it. All right. I so apologize to everybody. So let me tell you what happened, and I hope that we do have this program. Um, okay, so what happened is a few minutes before we went on the air, when I was setting up the computer popped and it broke. And then it turned itself back on, and then it turned itself off. Yay, we can hear you. Isn't that awesome?
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Oh my God. I had to do it. I did it directly on Facebook on my desktop. The only problem being that, there was some stuff I had to go through that I didn't know what I was doing. Anyway, so my computer died. So we drag over the laptop, and I have the right streaming stuff, but then that didn't work. And for some reason, you couldn't hear me. So anyway, we're back.
We're back.
Yay!
Love this topic.
All right.
Tracy says yay.
Oh,
All
I'm
right.
so we may have to start our group a little late tonight, but I would love to edit this and say more about it. But the whole thing is, I've been looking so much at Tracy and Elizabeth. Everybody says that they can hear us,
Todd
and
says, oh, good, yay.
yay, yay,
There's
yay.
nothing else
Okay,
number 4.
awesome. Okay. So now we can see it right there.
Oh, yay.
Okay, isn't that nice? We can see it right there. Okay, so, sorry, James, you're out of the picture.
Well,
Okay, all right, here we go.
That's better.
So, I've been thinking a lot about this Israel-Hamas thing, and what I noticed is that people lie to themselves. They'll take a position, let's say, oh, Israel needs to defend itself, and Hamas is a terrorist organization. Okay, and so they'll take that position, all right, and they'll argue it, and they'll argue it. And then someone else will say, the Palestinians are being brutalized, and there's genocide, and the Hamas are only, trying to defend themselves, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, and then they'll take that position. But this came up in one of our local uh, uh, network things, and very few people would say, oh my, there are problems on both sides. There's been brutality on both sides. What are we going to do to come together?
On both sides.
There's a lot of suffering on both sides, and we need to face all of that. So, people are getting skewered for telling the truth, but it's one-sided truth. It's very one-sided. So, do you really believe that these people don't know that any of this is going on? Like the people who are only defending the Israelis, they don't know what is happening in Gaza. They don't know that the Israeli settlers moved in, and that there have been a lot of brutality against Palestinians. They don't know that. Well, of course they do. And the people on the other side, they don't know how Hamas has dealt with the Israelis, and how hostile many of the Arab nations have been towards Israel from its inception and so on. They don't know that. But they do know that. You see, what I'm saying is I believe that people lie to themselves because they don't want to see the other side. Now, I have done this too. I have done exactly the same thing in personal relationships, not just with political things, where I'm having an argument with somebody, and they're taking this position, and I'm taking the other position. And, oh, hi there, Robbie. He's watching from Kathmandu. I like your this live program. Thank you. So we're glad that you found us, because we didn't start, for the first, I don't know, almost 15 minutes, because I'm having technical problems. Anyway, so then people do know all of these things. We don't need that, honey.
Yes, I do. As a recipient of what's going on. Go ahead.
You can read that, no? So anyway, it's coming, it's right here, honey. It's showing up. So what I'm saying is, like, I will say, No, I didn't do such and such. Well, I know that I did. I was angry or I took an attitude and I'm trying to pretend that I didn't do that. Or he'll say, no, it's like making me, everybody wants the blame. So he's making me guilty, I'm making him guilty. And am I lying to him? Yes, but more than that, I am lying to myself. So I am telling you that that is the way of polarization, is that we all have to be lying to ourselves in order to polarize, because we have to ignore the suffering of everybody and only focus on a certain suffering, like ourselves, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
suffering. This is the problem, is that I'm suffering, but you're not suffering too, right? So I have seen this a million times. All right, so now, aren't there many, many ways that we lie to ourselves? Um, don't we lie to ourselves in kind of in the opposite direction, like James was saying earlier? Like, oh, I say I really want this because my husband really wants it, so I'm telling myself that I really want it too. But maybe I don't really want it. But I don't want to say that I don't want it, because then I might antagonize him. Nothing wrong with me tonight. And but am I lying to him? Usually, I'm lying to myself. I actually believe that I want this, or I actually believe that I want to go to med school when I actually want to play the harp, or I actually believe um, something else that I really have told myself that I believe. But
Well, I like to lie to myself about how I've still got it despite my advancing age.
yes,
Yeah, my cognition isn't what it used to be, my memory isn't what it used to be,
that's right.
my physical abilities aren't what they used to be.
Right.
But I like to lie to myself is, well, I've still got it.
Right. So, is anybody recognizing this? And what is so aggravating is we see the other people's lies, but how often do we see our own? And do we recognize our own lies? That's what I want to know. How often do we do that? Very, very rarely. Now, I'd like you to be thinking right now about ways that you lie to yourself. Well, why don't you share them? I'm not the only one who lies to myself. Um, in fact, let me see. Another thing that we do is we don't admit our doubts to ourselves, and so uh, uh, we don't admit it to others. For instance, I am going to say, yes, I really need this, or I really feel this, or I really think you should do this. Now, is there any part of me that's saying, I wonder if that's really true?
Yeah, I would think so.
I think so, because we don't know. We live in the life of not knowing, right? So I will not admit to you that I'm having doubts, but I have not admitted to myself that I'm having doubts. Why? Because I'm so afraid that I'm going to undermine my little ability to function or do anything if I admit that I really have doubts. I really have doubts that I can do this or that I should even do this. So are people identifying? We'd like to see some comments coming from, come on, guys, you must have something that you lie to yourself about. Um, any other examples coming to mind? I lie to myself about, and I've seen other people do this more than I do. People lie to themselves about who they actually like. I really love my mother. Well, sometimes. But no, I'm telling myself I really love my mother because I want to convince my husband that we should really move to Indiana, because, oh yeah, to be near my mother because I love her so much, or to move to, Illinois to be near my daughter because I love her so much. Well, maybe I don't, but I can't admit that, and we have a comment, an admission of
Todd says
guilt.
I lie to myself about my capabilities too, much like myself.
That is such a big one. We lie to ourselves about our capabilities. Now,
Oh, and Todd says, I often figure things out anyway, but I tell myself I can do something before I know that I can.
that's right. And if
Fake
you,
it till you make it.
and not only that, if you could have admitted from the start that you you weren't sure, then you might have asked for help. But if you're too busy lying to yourself that you can do it, then of course you're not going to stop to lie to ask for help because you've already got it covered. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
what do I need that for? You know, uh, some people act.
Oh, how about when people apply for a job and they lie to themselves about, yeah, I have all the skills to be able to do that job well.
That's right.
When in fact they're really lying to themselves.
That's right.
And they get into the job and they flounder.
That's right. Or yeah, I can take on a second job, no problem, because I want to buy a new Ferrari. You know, most people aren't taking on second jobs to buy Ferraris. They're probably hoping to have bus fare. But but you know what I mean? They're telling themselves they can do something in order to box themselves in so they are forced to do it because they want the outcome. So what we are seeing is
People do that with dieting too. I'm going to lose weight. I know I can lose weight. I can go back to the form that I had when I was 25.
oh, absolutely, absolutely.
I'll keep lying to myself until
So
that happens.
what are we?
Todd also says here, or you ask for help and they don't read your email thoroughly and give you the wrong advice.
Well, that is true, but that has nothing to do with you lying to yourself. That has to do with them lying to themselves.
Yeah,
that they're really
epidemic.
available. People say, "Oh yes, I'm available anytime. You just contact me." And they really believe it. So what I want to.
So you call them and they say, "I'm sorry, I'm busy."
That's right. So, oh yeah, my mother had a heart attack. So anyway, you know, I went to Indiana. So anyway, why do we do this? Well, obviously because we want to win something. Oh, here's a
Tracy
good
says,
one.
I lie to myself that I can control my eating without support.
Whoa,
There you are.
Now, why are we doing? Oh,
And Todd says that's the point. It becomes a real issue when everyone is lying to themselves and passing the buck.
that is an excellent point, Todd. This is. Oh, there's more.
And
Tracy
says, I lie to myself that I'm not capable of doing something I can.
Oh, that's true too.
That's another common one. To avoid the responsibility or whatever the reason is.
That's right. So I really can't do that. Oh yeah, I love this. This is very exciting. It seems like people are really into this topic because they're busy admitting. Now, why do we do this? We lie to ourselves in order to lie to other people to a very great degree.
Oh yeah.
So, and going back to the political situation, we lie to ourselves because we want to align with other people who are lying to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I want to be safe. I want to be in the crowd. So I want to lie to myself that I'm really okay with wearing my pants at my knees, even though it's cold, because that way I'm going to fit in with the in crowd.
Yeah, a lot of guys try to be cool by wearing their pants down at their butts.
So we're seeing, well, they probably don't do that anymore. That probably shows our age, James. But the point is the same. We lie to ourselves because we want to prove something that isn't true, because we want to be on the side of somebody and feel that support. We don't want to stick our necks out and say, oh yeah, you know, everybody is suffering and why can't we be looking for a solution? This is ridiculous. We want to feel powerful so we can get into a state of, oh yes, I can do this, you know. I'm King Kong, you know, I can do this. We lie to ourselves because we want to feel empowered, right? And that's a lot about this thing about capabilities because we want to feel powerful.
I lie to myself that I'm not afraid, even though I am. Like you have an adversary and you're going to go into court or whatever, and you lie to yourself that, oh, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid they're going to dominate and win.
Yes, and why do we do that? Because we want to do that. Because our income depends on it, or our status in society depends on it. So we have to tell ourselves that we can do things that we can't do in order to have all of that working for us. So as we see there are many, many reasons that we lie to ourselves. And as Todd brought up, it becomes a real issue when everyone is lying to themselves and passing the buck. Now, a lot of people lied to themselves about the 2020 election. And now they have to continue lying to themselves because they're stuck with, you said that, you did that. We lie to ourselves because we don't want to admit our true motivations are not noble. Anything else that people want to say about why you lie to yourself? Think about it. Why do you lie to yourself? I think I lie to myself because if I don't, I might feel hopeless and give up on life. That's a useful lie. But lies become explosively dangerous. Early in the Trump presidency and before, I saw a lot of the liberal media attacking Trump sometimes in ridiculous ways, always trying to show him as being terrible, always trying to, and you know something? When people did that to Trump, they were indirectly attacking everybody who supported him. And then they were wondering why the people who supported him got angry at them. Gee, I think I know why. Because we put them down. Or you put them down. And they're doing the same thing the other way. We lie to ourselves because we're afraid to change, because we feel scared and feel vulnerable. And we're afraid that if we change something that we've been doing over and over, that we'll be even more vulnerable and more scared. One example that comes to mind is 4th of July and fireworks. People lie to themselves that fireworks don't damage anybody. I'm talking about fireworks that you do on the street. I'm not talking about the official fireworks that are controlled or whatever. But that the animals, the wildlife are disturbed, that people in their homes are disturbed, that fires start, that people get burnt and hurt. But they say, oh no, that's not true, and then they'll just make it louder. Why? Because they want to keep doing what they're doing. But why? Why do we have to keep doing what we're doing when it isn't working? Sometimes it's just pure, unadulterated ego. I want to do this. You can't stop me.
I don't have to wear a mask even though the pandemic is raging.
That's right.
You can't stop me.
In fact, it seems that we've had situations talking about the pandemic where Ron DeSantis was lying about the statistics of people who were dying in Florida in order to prop up his political career as being the guy who stood up to the woke mask ruling. It's ugly, it's damaging, it's hurtful, because when we lie to ourselves, it has consequences to our behavior and to the behavior of other people. And if we continue this way, we will never have peace. We will never have well-being. We hide our corruption. And we lie to ourselves about doing it. We get into the habit of lying early. Many of us lie to our parents.
To escape judgment or to get what we want.
And this is a lot of the problem. If we were punished as children, we get into the habit of lying. when we feel like we can't accomplish something that we really want to, we get into the habit of lying, going in there and pretending that we can do a job instead of saying, I really want this job. I can't do it. It'll take some training, but I'm committed. We lie to ourselves to compete, to justify our lying to others. Most of us can't admit or don't want to admit that we are lying. Everybody suppresses the truth just about. Whatever truth we don't want, we will suppress. My name is Beth Green, otherwise known as Granny Rocks, and I don't even think I said that earlier because we had a huge hullabaloo trying to get on tonight. And you
That's
are.
right. And I said my name once before when we were off. But yes, James Maynard here, otherwise known as Sweet Baby James. And it's been great being with you. You're a great audience. And
Please like or love this show. Please share this program with others. Sorry for the rocky start, but share this program. I don't think I've got a video of it because I wasn't able to do that, but I'm so glad that I was able to get on the air tonight, and that is no lie, because I'll tell you why. Because James and I worked our little buns off trying to get on the air in 3 different ways after my computer blew up. I don't know if I'll be able to play music tomorrow, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try at least to get on my laptop and play some music on some instrument or other if I can. But we appreciate you very much.
And by the way, that's for tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, Magical Improvs.
Thank you for saying that. Yes, so Granny Raps and Rocks, Lighting the Way, is usually at Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Time, and Magical Improvs is at 7 p.m. on Thursday nights Pacific Time. And let us pray, whatever prayer means to you, that we stop lying about the little things, about the big things.
Very good.
Yes.
Peace be with you.
Thank
Bye-bye
you.
for now.
Now, if I could figure out how to stop this, that would be great. Okay, they're giving me all kinds of tips and everything. End live video. Here we go. Thank you. Oh, I can save it.